faster than the last one did. Okay, this is the syllabus. I don't have it completely updated, but I have started the update. That's what I was doing while I was waiting for y'all to come in. I wasn't sure if the class was going to make, so that's one reason I hadn't done much. And now it looks like I do know my office hours, so I'll be able to get this done, but I don't know when I'll get it done. Because as soon as this class is over, whereas normally I go to lunch, I'm not. I'm going to the help desk. I'll eat lunch at the help desk if I can, and then I come back for a physical science class, and then at the end of the day, it ends at 5:45, and then I'll go back to the help desk until 6:30. So I will have zero time in my office today, so I won't have time to work on this, I don't think. Okay. But anyway, here is the syllabus, and it is fall 2017. Now, the reason I have first mini-term here, this is a full-term class, but my office hours are going to change at midterm. And on the second mini-term, I'll have more office hours than I have now. So that's why this is only good for the first mini-term. I may not get it updated at mini-term, but I'll at least let you know what the change is. The course is Math 237 Linear Algebra. Okay, it's a 3-credit hour course, and we are meeting Tuesday and Thursday, 11 to 12:15, in this room, A255, 255, okay, and A building on the Bastrop campus. Okay, here's my information. My name is Charles Fowler. I haven't had you in class before, so we'll go to this. And my email address is cfowler@lawsonstate.edu. And let me just give you a little warning right now. The weekend between summer and fall, my wife and I she had professional meetings out west in Salt Lake City area, and we took a few extra days and went up to Idaho and saw Twin Falls and Shoshone Falls, and then drove over to Wyoming and saw the Tetons and Jackson Hole and Yellowstone for a day. So we had a really nice trip. And we went down to Salt Lake City, and that's where she had her meetings. And we were in a place that said free Wi-Fi, but it was terrible Wi-Fi. It was incredibly slow, and you couldn't get a lot done. So I got almost no emails done while I was there. And then last week we were in meetings a lot of the week. I was registering students most of the rest of the week, and it was impossible to get very much done on email. So I'm way behind on emails now. It's going to take me very slow to get caught up, but I'll try to get caught up. Okay, my phone is 929-3449. That's here on this campus. Now on Fridays, it's 929-6409. I'm over on the Birmingham campus on Fridays, but that's not my office. That's the office I borrow on Friday because it's the grant coordinator's office, and she's only there Monday through Thursday. So she's not there on Friday, so I use that office on Friday. So this phone number is not my phone number. It's where you can reach me on Friday, but please don't leave me a message on that number because I can't access it, and she won't know what to do with it when she accesses it. Who's leaving this on my phone? Okay. But excuse me, I've got to sneeze. Sorry. It's almost as bad with my phone number. Over the summer, I was teaching 6 courses. 5 of them were 4-hour courses. 3 of them had labs with them. And, we're on a compressed schedule anyway. So I had almost no office hours then either, especially on Mondays and Wednesdays. I was, actually my Mondays and Wednesdays last summer I had a calculus class 8 to 11:40, and I had a 20-minute break. That was Cal 1. Cal 2 was from 11 to 1:40, and then a 20-minute break. And then Physics 1 was from 2 o'clock. It had class in the lab 2 to 3:50, 10 minutes, and then 4 to 5 was the lab. And then Cal 2 was 5, no break at all, 5 to 6:50 with a 10-minute break between lab and then lab. Well, actually what we did was begin lab then, 6:50 what did we do? We did an hour and a half lab, so it was 6:50 to 7:20, no, 8:20. So I got to leave at 8:30. No, I can't remember now. But anyway, I was 8 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night with 2 20-minute breaks and 2 10-minute breaks. That was all. Okay, so I had horrendous Monday and Wednesday. Tuesday, Thursday, I had a little more time. But anyway, I'm so far behind on phone messages on mine that I think it must have filled up because one of my instructors called yesterday and said, I couldn't leave a message, your mailbox is full. So don't try to leave me a message now. I've got a lot of catching up to do on that. So what I tell students is don't call if I'm not in my office. And here are my office hours, so only call during office hours. And if you can't get me then, don't bother leaving a message. Just hang up and call again 5 or 10 minutes later when I'm back in the office, hopefully. Okay, so here are my office hours. I did get these updated now. Mondays and Wednesdays, I have lunch from 11:50 to 12:50, but I usually bring my lunch. I usually eat in my office. So you can come by or call during that time, okay? And then Monday, Wednesday afternoon, the biggest chunk of office hours I have Monday through Thursday is Monday, Wednesday afternoon, 3:15 to 5:15, okay? Now on Tuesday and Thursday, today, and actually I won't be in the office today, but 12:15 to 1:15 is the only time I'll be in the office on Tuesday, Thursday, and that is my lunch hour. But again, I bring my lunch. I usually eat in my office, so that's the only time I'll be there because I have on Tuesday, Thursday I have a 8 to 9:15 pre-calculus algebra, 9:30 to 10:45 pre-calculus trig. This class from 11 to 12:15, lunch from 12:15 to 1:15, and physical science 111. It's a mini-term class, so it's from 1:15 until 3:45, and the lab goes from 3:45 to 5:45. So I'm back in the office at 5:45 in the evening. Well, I got to shut down the lab and all that kind of stuff, and then leave by 6 o'clock. So, yeah, this is the only time. Now, when we get to second mini-term, this will expand. My lunch will still be 12:15 to 1:15, but then I'll be in the office from 1:15 to 3:15 for office hours because my 112 class, there are a bunch of automotive students, and they don't get out of their class until 3, so we won't start the physical science until 3:15. So I will have more office hours on Tuesday, Thursday, second mini-term, but that means I'll be here till 8 o'clock at night, not 6 o'clock at night. But anyway, I can deal with that. And on Fridays, it'll be 7:45 to 11:45 on the Birmingham campus at this phone number. Don't leave a message there either. You know, that mailbox isn't full, but it's not my mailbox. And you can catch me there. Now, most of the time I'm there past 11:45, but you can, that's officially when my office hours are. Here's the course description. Now, I didn't write this, and no one here at the college wrote this. This course is written by a committee of the four-year colleges, state-supported four-year colleges and universities, and the two-year college system, and they said if we teach this, they give you credit for it. This course introduces the basic theory of linear equations and matrices, real vector spaces, bases and dimensions, linear transformations and matrices, determinants, eigenvalues and eigenvectors, inner product spaces, and the diagonalization of symmetric matrices. Yeah, we could get all that done in a term. I doubt it, but we're going to do the best we can. Additional topics may include, but don't count on it, quadratic forms and the use of matrix methods to solve systems of linear differential equations. You'll do that in differential equations, not in this course. Okay? So, in a minute I'll go over what we're doing in the text, but you see there's a lot of topics there. We're going to start with this, theory of linear equations and matrices. That's part of chapter 1, most of chapter 1, and into chapter 2, and then I'll tell you how this all pans out later, but we'll do it pieces at a time. We may not get it all covered, but at least I'll cover enough so that you can fill in the blanks at the end to get anything else you need. I think we'll get enough covered for the course. Okay. Why this? I think I do know why it is. Why is this not moving? There we go. All right. Prerequisite for the course, Math 126. Now, you're in 126 now, right? Or you're in 227? Cal 3, okay. So both of you've had the prerequisite, right? Okay. No co-correction. Textbook is this one here, Elementary Linear Algebra. It's the 7th edition. It's by Larson, Ron Larson. Now, did you have pre-calculus algebra and trig here?
No, my credit's transferred.
Transferred. Did you have it here? What's that? Pre-calculus algebra, so you scored right into calculus here. Okay. Well, okay. I was just going to say, if you had that here, he was the author of the pre-calculus text. But since neither one of you had it here, then you probably don't. That doesn't make any difference to you. It is a Brooks Cole Cengage book. I don't care for Brooks Cole Cengage, and it's 2013, which means they're probably going to have a new edition out soon. But I don't know. I hope they didn't change this time. But anyway, use it. If you need a book, it's in the bookstore, or you can order it anywhere else you want. Graphing calculator, they call it a graphics calculator, but it's not absolutely required for the course. In fact, it's not required for the course. But usually when I place the book order, I say it is in case you need to get one. You can get it on your Pell Grant. It might be useful, especially if you're doing really complicated matrices. Graphing calculators will do those. We're going to try to keep them simple enough you don't have to have it. But if your program of study is going to require it, you can go and purchase it now. That's why I'll put it as it is required. Bring paper because we'll be working things in class every day. And it says pencil here. I didn't write the syllabus. I'll make a confession now. Jasmine already knows because she's been in my class before. When I tend to do math, I tend to make errors. Okay, so I prefer using pencil for myself. But if you're comfortable with pen, that's fine with me. I don't care. All right, now this next paragraph, and I know Jasmine's heard this ad nauseum, but I'll go over it because, and what do you go by? I didn't mark you. What do you go by? Camille. Okay. And Jasmine goes by Jasmine, right? Okay. All right. I do not like this paragraph. It's out of date, but they told us we cannot change this paragraph because this was written by the dean or somebody, and you can't change it, okay? All Austin Community College students must be trained in Blackboard and use Blackboard daily to gain access to vital course information, such as the syllabus. And you are going to read the syllabus every day, aren't you? Saturday and Sunday included. Every day you'll read the syllabus. Now, I'm just making fun of it. Okay, it'll be there if you need it, okay? Now, handouts. Okay, wait, time out. If you go to Blackboard now, I don't have it organized yet because I wasn't sure until a few minutes ago we were even going to offer the course. So now that we're going to offer it, I'm going to finish updating the syllabus, and once I get it done, I'll put it on Blackboard. Okay? Both of you are familiar with Blackboard? Okay. In Blackboard, there's content on that homepage. That's where I'll put most of the stuff. I'll put your syllabus there. I'll put the research paper instructions. I will put my locator card showing when I'm on campus, when I'm off campus, when I'm in class, when I'm in the office, when I'm at lunch, when I'm not. Yeah, okay, that kind of stuff. This text, this is one thing I do not like about the text, even though I like the author. I do not like the text in that it doesn't provide any PowerPoints at all. So I have to write everything on the screen. So there's no PowerPoints I'll put on Blackboard because there aren't any, okay? But I will put, it's not there now, but I will put any sites that either I've discovered or other students that I've had in the course before have said they found useful. I don't remember how many of them are. It seems like only a couple or three that I found or other students have found. I'll put those out there on Blackboard. And then the last thing on Blackboard will be the link to the YouTube videos. Now I have it all set up in YouTube, but I don't have the link copied over into this syllabus. So I'll try to get that done. And the thing is, I think I've said this 3 times a day, so I don't know if I said it to y'all or not. Normally, my office hours would be 12:15 to 1:15 today when I eat lunch. I'm not going to be in the office then. I've got to be on the help desk out front. And I'll be trying to eat my lunch out there because Dr. Pruitt's been there all morning, and Dr. Thomas helped him some when she had some free time. And that's the only free time I've had all morning. So I'm going to go do that so he can go eat lunch because he's a diabetic and he has to eat, So I'll go relieve him and let him go eat lunch. Then at 1:15, I've got to come back and teach a class. I'll be in class until 5:45. So Dr. Pruitt will leave at 2, and then Dr. Thomas will start at 4:30, and then I'll relieve her at 5:45, and then I'll be there until 6:30. So I will have 0 office hours today. I'll be at help desk. Anytime I'm not in class, I'll be in the help desk. That's only today. From now on, lunch will be in the office, but not today. Okay. So what I'm saying is I won't have any time to work on this today. Tomorrow I've got classes 8 o'clock, 9:30, 12:15, and 2. So I'll have 2 hours tomorrow afternoon from 3:15 to 5:15. But that's the time I've got to be canceling classes and doing all sorts of stuff. So it may be Friday before I get this updated. When I get it updated, I'll put it on Blackboard and the other stuff too. Okay, it may be into next week. I hope not. Okay, so the syllabus will be there. Handouts. Generally, if I have a handout to give you, I'll hand it out to you. Okay, only 2 people in the class. I don't see any reason to put it on Blackboard and have you print it and that kind of stuff. PowerPoint shows. There are none for this course. Okay, it doesn't provide any PowerPoint, but all that I do will be in YouTube videos, and that will be on Blackboard. Okay, activities. Sometimes the school posts activities and put them on Blackboard, so read Blackboard for that. Assignments. Your research paper assignment will be there. It's not there yet. I've got just a couple of little corrections to make on that. As soon as I get those done, I'll put that out there. Announcements. Usually I don't do any announcements. The school sometimes does, so check Blackboard for announcements. However, now this did happen in the summer, and I was really displeased with it. Sometime during the summer, early in the summer, I got an email from National Science Foundation saying they were having a grant writing or something, some sort of meeting over in Atlanta on a Friday and Saturday. I said, that will be great. And they said we needed to send a team from the college. So I emailed the people higher up. I said, I don't know if I fit on this or not, but if you need someone to go to it, I'll be glad to go to it. Atlanta on Friday and Saturday. Well, I got a call back from the Vice President's secretary, and it took a while for us to touch base, but when we finally did, the message I got was, well, the Vice President wanted to go to New Orleans, not to Atlanta. But the New Orleans meetings are Mondays and Tuesdays. I said, well, I can't do it then because I have classes Mondays and Tuesdays. Lots of classes Monday and Tuesday. And he said, well, maybe we would wind up having to go to Atlanta anyway, so don't worry about it. But he didn't want to mess up a weekend. So it gave me the idea of faculty worry about classes, administrators worry about weekends. And it just wasn't a very fair thing to me. as it turned out, like the week before, they said, "Oh, we got it in New Orleans." So then I had to make an announcement because I'd already met both classes, both Mondays and Wednesdays and Thursday classes. So I had to send them an announcement saying, "Look, we're not meeting Monday and Tuesday." So I hate having to do that, but if something comes up, I will put announcements out there. Most of the time, they'll come from the school. Grades. Now, this is a small class, and like I said, I don't have much office hours, especially first mini term, so I probably won't be able to grade any of your work until earliest would be the next Monday or Wednesday. Well, okay, on the Tuesday class, Wednesday afternoon, 3:15 to 5:15, or for a Thursday class, Friday, 7:45 to 11:45. So usually it's going to be the next day, sometimes maybe later, but the next day usually before I'll be able to get grades out there. Definitely sometime that week. I do not like this next sentence. Failure to use Blackboard could severely damage your ability to pass the course. Such a negative statement. If I were writing this, I would say, if they let me correct it, I would say, the proper use of Blackboard could greatly enhance your ability to do well in the class. It's a lot more positive than I think was the reality. Now, it may be that some instructors basically let Blackboard teach the course. So if you don't use Blackboard, you're not going to pass. So that may be true. I don't. To me, Blackboard's a tool, and I'm the teacher. You know, it's not that it's the teacher, and I'm a simple tool. No, I won't say that. But I don't like that sentence, okay? And then the next one makes no sense at all because it's out of date, but they don't let us change it. See the schedule book. We haven't had a schedule book in years now because it's all online now, but they haven't changed it to determine when you can attend training. However, there is training out there on the website. I can't tell you exactly where to go, but you just have to look through the website and you can find training videos on using Blackboard. Students should always check Blackboard announcement page prior to coming to class. I don't really care for that sentence either. What does that connote to you? Why should you always check Blackboard announcement page prior to coming to class? In case the class was canceled. Guess what, folks? I'm trying to try never to cancel a class. It's not saying it won't be canceled, but I'm going to try not to. I will tell you this. It may or may not. Okay, the first part of it is going to happen. Whether it affects his class or not, I don't know. I have a mild form of leukemia, and so I have to see my hematologist once every 2 or 3 months. Okay? Have to. I mean, he has to check blood and all that kind of stuff. He only sees patients Tuesday mornings. So if I get an appointment, say at 11:45, that means I'm supposed to see him at 11:45, meaning I won't be through seeing him. Well, if it's even 10:45, that'll mess up this class because this class starts at 11. Even if it's 9:45, hopefully I'd see him by 10:15 and leave Birmingham, try to get back here. It would be pressing it. That would be the latest. If it's earlier in the morning, yeah, it won't bother this class at all. But if it's late morning, it could conceivably bother the class. May have to just start late that day or whatever, but we'll figure it out. But except for things like this, but then I'll let you know days in ahead of time. In fact, we've already worked out how we're going to make up the class. So generally, I'm not anticipating that happening at all. If the vice president or something comes up weird like that, yeah, that might be a good idea to do. But most of the time, I'll know anything in advance. Okay. If I wake up just really, really sick and can't possibly come to class, I'll probably just call. I'm probably not going to get up and go to the computer. If I am able to get up and go to the computer and do that, I'm well enough to come to class. So I'm not going to. If I can help it, I will not miss it. Now I forget. Stuck on the expressway? I can't imagine that. I come in at 7:45 in the morning. I'll be here by 11 o'clock. So I don't think that's a possibility either. But in neither one of those cases would I have a chance to put it on Blackboard. Okay. Core student learning outcomes. Students will solve systems of linear equations and matrices. That's basically chapter 1. And sum of 2. Students will apply the properties of the determinants to the solution of matrices. That's basically chapter 3. Okay? Students will work with vector spaces, identifying bases and dimensions. That's chapter 4. Students will work with inner product spaces. That's chapter 5. Students will perform linear transformations, represent them with matrices. That's chapter 6. Students will work with eigenvalues and eigenfunctions and eigenvectors and diagonalize symmetric matrices. Okay. Spell check doesn't like diagonalize, but that's what they had in the thing, so I used it. That's chapter 7. Students will research and write on a topic in linear algebra. That's your writing deal. Okay? Goodness gracious. Why have we got a lot of blank spaces here? I know what happened. This is so aggravating. There we go. Here are the core competencies. Okay? So we'll do chapters. Okay, I need to change this. I used to try to combine 1 and 2 together and give a test, but that was so much material. So now I do a test after chapter 1 and then a test after chapter 2. So I'll split that up later. Chapter 3, determinants, and then a test. Chapter 4, vector spaces, and a test. Now, occasionally I've gotten as far as chapter 5. I've never made it to linear transformations and eigenvalues. So there's just so much material to cover here. We do talk a little bit about eigenvalues and eigenvectors, but we don't usually get there. And of course, everything that we've done up to that is leading to linear transformation. So we almost already dealt with that. But to get to those chapters, no, I haven't made it yet. Maybe this term with such good students. Okay. Grading policies. Okay, research paper is required for the course. There's the writing comes to the research paper. It will count as a test grade, and that one cannot be dropped. A unit test will be given after each unit. In this case, it would be chapters. I'll probably reword that. And the lowest test score may be dropped. If it helps your grade, I will drop your lowest test score. The final exam cannot be dropped. Now, is that going to be a comprehensive final exam? Probably not. Because like I said, I've seldom gotten past chapter 5. So basically, your chapter 5, the last test will be your final exam. Of course, the last test is using everything we did up till then. So it is, in some sense, sort of comprehensive, but not that we take questions out of everything else. It'll just be the final exam, last test. Okay? And the final exam may not be dropped and will count as a test score. Okay? A single test score. Each assessment will be on a 100-point thing, so you'll have your research paper, your final exam, and then however many tests are left over. Okay. I take that back. I think I do provide chapters 1 and 2 together. That was my differential equations course. I decided to split. This one I didn't keep that. Sorry. Okay. Grading. Ooh, those should have stayed together. Let me see if I can make that happen. Okay. Anything in the 90s is an A, 80s are B's, 70s are C's. Don't go any lower than that. Okay. Attendance. Students are, okay. This is written in every syllabus. Basically, generally, if you're here You get to ask questions and stuff. Yeah, I record everything, but it's hard to ask a question at home, right? Because no one's there to answer it. So try to be here. I will be here. Now, if any day shows up that neither one of you show up, I'll still record the class that day. I'll probably go faster than I normally would have because y'all won't be here to ask questions. So you have to catch up that material, and you can't make up work with everything being take home. Hard to see where that makes any sense. Let me say this though: when I do give you a test, try to finish it within a week. Now, I always give you at least a week, and here's 2 reasons why. One, you always have one more class day to ask me questions in case you don't understand something. And number 2, that always gives you a weekend to work on it in case you're other things that are demanding your time, and that may be the only time you have enough time to sit down and concentrate on the test. But try to get things within a week. Now, shoot, I understand if you can't get it in a week, that's fine. Get it to me as soon as you can. What I do not want you to do is have the nth test outstanding when I give you n+1, okay? Because that's really backing things up. In other words, you may have missed something. If you haven't even turned in the previous test, you may have some concept totally wrong. I give you the next test, and by the time you do turn in the previous test, I found out you got it all wrong, and you're doing the same thing on the next test. You're just hurting yourself like crazy. But not only that, you're hurting the other student as well, because if he or she has the test in, I can't return them to them until I get both of yours in. Okay, so don't be the one holding up my giving back the test. Now, certainly, if you turn it in, I'll let you see your test and see what you missed, but I can't give it back to you until I get the other one. So that's the only thing make up work. Ladies, I will begin, because I have a class right before this, I will begin right at 11. Most of the time, sometimes some things get in the way, but most of the time I'll start right at 11. I didn't start today because I wasn't sure the class was going to run. But from now on, if y'all aren't here, I'm going on here to start. Okay. Statement on harassment and discrimination. Now, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, but I incorporate in that any kind of bullying. Okay. I think that fits right in here, so I count that too. Now, I've been here, I just finished my 20th year and on my 21st year now, in basically most of the time teaching in this classroom, okay? I can not honestly think of any outright discrimination or harassment that I've witnessed. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but they've sure hidden it from me if it has. I haven't even heard about it. But I have seen some dumb things. There was a kid, he was in an automotive program here, and y'all may be right out of high school too, but he definitely was. In fact, he acted like he was right out of junior high, but you know, he was in college. I think his dad must have made him go to college because he sure didn't seem to have any interest in it. He was in one of my classes. Back then we taught a special math class for the automotive program, a great automotive program here. And we had a special math class for them. He was in that, and he had no interest in anything. In fact, later I heard him say he wasn't any good in the automotive. I think he thought that would be a cool thing to be in. If he had to go to college, let him do that, but he just wasn't motivated in anything. And one day, at lunch, he just decided to start walking across people's cars in the parking lot. Someone saw him, yanked him off of there, got him to the dean's office. He was in there for, I didn't see any of this, I don't know, but some fairly short amount of time, and then he was off campus, never to be seen again. Okay, this was not the place for him, and we were not going to allow that kind of activity. Now, I don't want to say it's going to be that fast, but it will be fast, and it will be fair, because these kind of discrimination, harassment, bullying is not tolerated, never tolerated. Okay, so I guess that's enough to say about that. Now, this thing with Americans with Disabilities, this was changed last year, and this is the new, this is the new information here. I don't know why things are so cramped. Let me do this. Okay, that's better. All right. And then the course calendar, certainly this was for last spring. I will update that for this fall. So that will be done. Oh, by the way, let me go back to this on this. Miss Dr. Renee Herndon is in charge of these services on this campus and overall the whole school. And Mrs. Janine McCoy-Jones is on the Birmingham campus there. So if you have any kind of issue, please let them know about it. And these are where they're located. Dr. Herndon is in this building, first floor, student services wing. Basically go to the admissions desk and ask. And her office is just right around the corner from there. Birmingham campus, if you're familiar with the Leon Kennedy building, that's where the cafeteria and police and those kind of things are on the first floor. But if you go up to the second floor, near or at the Space Center, that's where you want to be. ADA counselor there, Miss McCoy-Jones. Okay, and then that will be changed. And this is your, once I get all the changes made and get it out there on Blackboard, I'll let you know it's there. Then you can either print this page or you can fill it in and email it to me that you've acknowledged everything. Any questions on the syllabus now? Okay. Let's see if we can get through the research paper instructions. Again, since you haven't been in my class before, I'll go over these. Poor Jasmine has heard them a few times. So, basically, you choose a topic. Any topic that you choose that's within the scope of this course. It can be a person. We're going to be talking about people out of the ears. We'll talk about Johann or Leonard Gauss, anyway, I can't remember his first name. We'll talk about a guy named Jordan. We'll talk about bunches of people. You can pick any one of those to write on. You can talk about a theory, or a phenomenon, or a practice like the Gauss-Jordan elimination process, or anything such as that. Phenomenon or application, we'll see. The book does a really good job just about every section pointing out some sort of application. Y'all may be a bit young to remember this. What made Google Google such a powerful company? Basically, one thing made it. It's a multifaceted company now. It does all sorts of stuff. You know what the first thing was that really put it on the map? They have, I think, probably still the very best search engine anywhere. The two guys that formed Google had developed this search engine, and they outdid everybody. So everybody started Googling it, okay? And that was a search engine. Guess what they used? Linear algebra. So many things. Airline ticketing, airline pilots and crews to crack. Everything's done by linear algebra, okay? Matrices, okay? So you can pick any of those applications and write on. The book does a really good job of mentioning just about every section something like that. Or any other such topic about which you have an interest that can be related to linear algebra. Or, and this is something new I've done, it can be an internet application or demonstration that you find useful. So maybe you find my description and the book's description of Gauss-Jordan elimination to be either so boring you can't follow it, or so unclear or something like this, but you find a YouTube video or something else like that. Say, oh, why didn't they say that? That makes it perfectly clear. Well, then you can write on how that helps you understand it better. Okay? So what I'd like to ask you to do, either today or Thursday if possible, okay, is write your name and your potential topic. say potential, you can change it anytime you want to. What I want you to do is start thinking about, looking through the book, figuring out what you might want to write on. So give me a potential topic on a piece of paper. And at our faculty meetings last week, they told us they wanted us to get these other two pieces of information. I don't know anything about my research paper. I just say, let's put it all together. One is your very best preferred email address. Now, I know both of you have Lawson State email. What I don't know is whether you use it or not. If you don't use Lawson State email and use a personal email, please write it down for me. Because, see, right now, all the school information is sent to the Lawson State one. And if you don't check that, you aren't going to know it. So if we have any information to send you, I'd like to know how best to get it to you. So write down your preferred email address and your preferred phone. I'm guessing it would be your cell phone, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what most people would be. However, and that's all the school is asking for. However, I say this. If there's a chance that your phone could be lost, the battery died, run over by a truck, just break down, I mean, whatever happened, and we can't get you by that. If you do have a good backup number, like Mama's landline or something like that, if you have that and want to give it to me, you don't have to, then you can do that. Or if you happen to, when you're not here, most likely be at work. If you have a job that you probably may not be able to use a cell phone, but you can take incoming calls if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can give me your work number. I don't care about the other two unless you think that's going to be a better way to get in touch with you. If you can't use, or if your cell phone broke or something, you can give me those. But right now, all the schools are asking for best email, best phone number. Because frankly, what's in the system, last night I had to cancel 2 classes, and that was a total of 11 students. And I swear, I think at least 5 of them I had no way of getting in touch with, because the number had either been disconnected, no longer assigned, or whatever it rang, it said it had no mailbox available, or the mailbox was full, so had no way to get in touch with those students in our system. So please, if you could, do that. I want your name and your research topic, but the school wants also your best email and your best phone number. Okay. Now, you'll need to find at least one, but 2 or more better outside sources for your paper. I saw a great little blurb on Carl Friedrich Gauss, right there. Can that be your source? No, it needs to be an outside source. Now, that may give you an idea. I want to write on this guy, but you have to get an outside source, not the book. So, at least one, 2 or more are better, but the source or sources can be from books, journals, articles, newspapers, magazines, any such materials that you can find in the library or get through the library, or, and I hesitate to do this, but I think it's legitimate, any legitimate source found on the internet. The big word there is legitimate. Because frankly, in my lifetime, if someone were to press me to say what's the most incredible thing that's been developed in my lifetime, I think I would have to say the internet. Because I don't think it was in existence in 1951. I'm that old. And right now, it's just absolutely amazing. 2 big problems with it, but maybe more than that. I know it too. One, I would say at least half the stuff on it is total garbage. Okay? Number 2, sometimes you don't know which half. Okay? So be very careful when you're using the internet. I know a lot of courses don't even allow you to do that, but I say if it's a good source that you can find there, I'll let you use it. Your textbook, though, is not an outside source. It can give you lots of ideas, but it can't be your source. The idea is to get you out of the book into the real world somehow. Okay. Now, your paper has to be at least 1 word processed page of text. Now, a couple things in there. I don't want it handwritten. I'd rather not have it typed either. Whoever types anymore, I don't know. But Word processing. Now, what do I mean by one page of text? Now, different people use different formats and things like this. I don't care which one you use. A lot of times I'll see papers come in and they have some sort of header up here. I don't require it, but if your format calls for it, fine, have it. And then they skip a few lines and then do a title. And then they make triple space and finally start typing here. Well, what's one page of text? It's going to go to the bottom of this page, and then on a separate piece of paper, it's going to come down and go at least that far. That's a page of text. It's going to be at least two pieces of paper. But to get one page of text, okay? So, but I want it double spaced. It's a single space. I want it double spaced, so that makes it easier on you. But it also makes it easier on me to read and mark. And I want 12 pitch or 12 point, whatever you call that font. That means no 26 points, so that 4 words fill a page. Say I'm through. No, that's not going to work. Okay. I don't care what font you use as long as I can read it. Okay? I don't read hieroglyphics, I don't read Old English, I don't read Cyrillic or Latin or any of those other. Keep it a font I'm used to and can read. I don't care which one. There's tons of good fonts out there. Try to keep your paper less than 2 pages. I always say shoot for between 1 and 2 pages of text. Now, if you get so interested in a topic and you find it so fascinating and you just can't stop yourself, I don't take points off if it's too long, at least not directly anyway. But I have had a few times that I swear the student was trying to, they used to have a saying in the Navy, or I heard it in the Navy, if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with BS. But I don't want to try to be baffled, okay? I don't want you to replace quantity for quality. I want quality. Now, if the quality takes up extra pages, fine. If it's a good paper, that's good. If it's a lousy paper and you just try to keep going on and on and on, trying to impress me with how much you're working at it, here's how I grade these things. This will give you a hint. When you turn it in, it's a 100-point paper. I can hear you now say, well, don't grade it. Just give me the score. No, I'm going to read it. I'm going to grade it. And as I find errors, I start subtracting points. Now, if you turn in a really sloppy paper and just keep going on and on and on with really sloppy, poorly done paper, you're going to be losing points, losing points, losing points. You're going to wind up with a really low score, okay? If it's a good paper, it can be long and still get a really good score, okay? So be careful, okay? Don't replace quality with quantity, okay? You can use any format you want to. A lot of English classes teach MLA format, Modern Language Association. A lot of scientific writing actually uses what they call APA format, American Psychological Association format. Way early in the game, they came up with a really neat format, and people say, hey, I like this, I'm going to use this. So, but I'm a member of like 2 or 3 professional organizations. It seems like every one of them has a different format. I don't care which format you use, pick one and be consistent. That's the key. And I usually, well, here's one I say, if you start blocking paragraphs, block all the paragraphs. If you start indenting the paragraphs, indent all the paragraphs. If you start in Arial, then don't change the Times New Roman. I mean, be consistent with what you're doing. I've actually seen this one a few times, and I know pretty much what happened, but be careful about it. If someone may cite a source up here, and open parentheses and put the author's last name, comma, year of publication, close it off. Okay? And down here, cite a very similar source, but a different source, and open the parentheses and put the title of the article and the page number. Wait a minute. I think I know what happened there. This source that he was citing here, and you were citing here, used one format, so you use their format to cite them, okay? And then when you got down here, and this another not using the same format, you're using two different formats. Now I know that journal articles are cited differently from books, and they're cited differently from other things. So yeah, I understand that. But when they're the same kind and you're using two different ways to cite the same kind, that shows me that you're not using one source, you're using multiple sources. I mean, one format, you're using multiple. Okay? Now, spelling, grammar, sentence structure, all those types of errors that cost you in English classes, they still cost you here too. Because what you're doing is presenting a product. And if the product has errors in it, don't lose points. So please use spell check, grammar check, good proofreading. Just about every word processing package has this built into it. Use it, okay? But content also matters. Now I doubt if anyone would do it in this course, but I have read so many papers on Isaac Newton, which is a great topic, a great guy. I almost know his life, you know, and when I run into something that's totally wacko compared to what other things, I know someone's got something wrong. And other times it's something silly like this, and this has actually happened. Not frequently, but it has happened. Somewhere in the first thing, you may mention a person, and they give the year of birth, year of death, in parentheses, and blah, blah, blah. Then over on page 2, at the end of it, saying he died on June 23rd on a different year than what you have on the front page. Guess what? He only died once. Okay, so get the year right, you know. You're just that sort of sloppiness, not being consistent. I've seen somewhere else where someone mentioned something and put a year down, and it was 1942, when I'm pretty certain it was 1492, you know, because the guy wasn't alive in 1942. You know, so I'll be able to pick up. I've read so many papers on, say, Pythagorean theorem. I've seen several that have it totally wrong. You know, they just get everything crossed up. So I usually will be able to pick out the content matters as well. So be careful on that too. Okay, when's the paper due? This is always one of the first questions out. How long and when's it due? By the last day of class before final exams begin. Okay? That would probably for this class be the first Thursday in December. I think is the last day of class for this class. So please get it to me before then. But please, hey, guess what? Don't put it off that long. Get started now. Get it turned in early when you have plenty of time to proof it, to check it, you know, because guess what? At the end of the term, you're going to be swamped. You're going to have other projects and papers and reports and presentations and tests and finals. Don't put it off till then. Like I said, I'm starting my 21st year here teaching. I didn't start assigning papers until probably 4 or 5 years into that. So for the last 16 years or so, I've been assigning papers. And I've taught anywhere from 4 or 5 classes per term up to 8 per term, you know. That's a lot of classes. And most of the times I don't have classes this small. Like this time I have more than 30 in my pre-calculus algebra. Intermediate algebra, more than 30 in pre-calculus algebra. I have pretty close to 20 in my pre-calculus trig. I have more than 20 in both of my physical science classes. That's more normal. And that many students, that many classes, that many terms, that many years, I teach every summer too so far, I've seen a lot of papers. So this is a gross generalization. Usually the best papers I get are the ones I get earliest in the term, believe it or not. As the term goes on, they not change too much, a little bit. And usually some of the worst papers I get are right at the end. I know what's happened. Didn't allow enough time, had all these other things, just left something out, didn't even proofread it, really turned in a lousy work. Now I've had some real dogs at the beginning. I've had some good papers at the end. But the general trend is downhill. So try to get it done earlier rather than later. So there's the stick. Here's the carrot. Well, the stick is you'll lose points if you turn it in after that last day of class. Not finals, but class. But if you submit your paper during, and I'm going to back up on this one. This one done for summer. If you turn it in that first week in December, you just get your score. If you turn it in November, you get your score plus 1 bonus point. If you turn it in October, you get your score plus 2 bonus points. If you turn it in September, you get your score plus 3 bonus points. If you turn it in this week or next week, 4 bonus points. Now, don't put a rush job on it. You might lose more points than you get that extra bonus. But if you can't get it done this weekend and get it in next week, more power to you. Okay? Now, one sort of last thing. When you submit your paper, and most people don't require this, I do, please attach a single page from one of your sources. Okay? So if you have 3 sources, pick a source, any source, I don't care which one, and print or copy me a single page from that source. Now, if you did it on a computer application or a YouTube video that doesn't have a page that you can do, then just send me the link for that. Okay? But if you actually are writing a typical research paper, print me a single page from the source. Any questions? All righty. So that's that. We're not going to have time for me to go over my locator card. Okay? So there's no time for that. We'll do that next time, and we'll talk about safety. We'll try to speed that along and not take up too much time, but you need to know and be thinking about what to do in case of emergency. In every classroom you find yourself, what's the best way out? What's the nearest way? What do I do if this happens? You need to think of that, so we'll do that next time. So we'll do the locator card, safety, and then we'll get into linear algebra. Okay? Good deal. And I will start next time right at 11. Hopefully y'all will be here to start with me. Okay. Good deal. Looks like it's going to be a good class. Hopefully we'll move along and get everything done like we need to. Any questions?
Can I get a picture of the book?
Oh, yeah, sure. Do you want this side that has the ISBN?
Yes.
Or do you want the front? Whatever you can take. Both of you got it. All righty. Just be sure you don't get the instructor edition because they don't usually sell those. We get the student edition. Okay. Well, I'm going to pause. Well, let me stop. I forgot to stop